Good evening, YMCA family. Welcome to our very first hybrid 2021 YMCA annual celebration. Come on in, find your friends, loop your mask around one ear. Don't take it all the way off. Just, work with us. We are so excited to have you all in the space tonight. We have exciting things planned. It is going to be so excellent. For those of you all who have seen me, it'll come together for you in a moment. Just give me a little bit of grace. But before we get started, a couple of reminders. If you are joining us in person, please don't forget to have your parking ticket validated at the registration desk. If you are joining us virtually, welcome, welcome, welcome. Clear out your space. Go ahead and stretch. Put your pants with the elastic on. We are almost ready to kick off the fun. So, little bit about me. So my birthday's in May. And the birthstone for May is Emerald. And the band who is about to rock out for us is called Emerald City Band. So technically, all of this is for my birthday. It's going to be wonderful. So without further ado, come on in, kick your shoes off, and get ready to jam out to the Emerald City Band.
What's up, everybody? How we doing? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Emerald City. When I wake up in the morning, love, the sunlight hurts my eyes. Something without warning, love, was heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me, the possible to face is someone else instead of me. Always seem to know the way. Then I look at you, and the world's all now. Put your hands up, put them in the sky for the homies didn't make it. Won't lock down. I never went nowhere. They say that Looney pack. Living down that contour. Who call a hoodie yak? And I'm on this foolish track. Talking my foolish pro. My hands go up and down. My slippers booty go. My verses still be serving just like a million virgin. Last time on the collar green jack. Now I'm on the original version. Can never count me out. Better count me in. Got 20 bank accounts. Accounts count me in. Make millions every year. The South champion. Cause all I do is all I do is win, win, win. No matter what. Got money on my mind and I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the beat, everybody wins. And they say that. And they say that. And they say that. Up, up. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you're going, put your hands in the air. Make us say that. Win, no matter what. Got money on my mind. I can never give it up. Every time I step up in the beat, everybody's running. And they say that. And they say that. And they say that. Up, up. Cause all I do is win, win, win. Put your hands in the air, make us stay there. Somebody scream. Ladies and gentlemen, on the drums, from Philadelphia, Johnny Lossy. Let's go.
I'm passed down, I'm holding, I'm smiling, she's living, she's golden. She lives with me, says she lives with me, ovation. Her own motivation, she comes round and she goes down on me. And I make her smile like a drug for you. Do ever what you wanna do, coming over you. Keep on smiling at what we go through. Won't stop till the rhythm that provides you. And it speaks to you like the quarter to the verse. Top another line, not the quarter with the curse. Coming like a freak show, takes the stage. She live in the game she plays, she say, I want something else to get me through this. What? Semi jump kind of line. Baby, baby, I want something else. I'm not listening when you say goodbye. Let's go! The sky was low, it was gold. I was taking it, suffered through my nose. I wish I could get back there, someplace back there. Smiling in the pictures you would take. Doing cruise about to live you up until you break. I won't stop, I won't come down, I won't stop. I tick-tock ready, I bump to the rock, I bumped up. I take the hit that I was given, I bumped again, then I bumped again. She said, how do I get back there to the place where I fell asleep inside you? How do I get myself back to the place where you said, sing it! I want something else to get me through this. What? Sing some kind of line. Baby, baby, I want something else. Not listening when you say goodbye. Let's go! Somebody make some noise!
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Bishop right there. I'm going to take you back, ladies and gentlemen, to 1969 when it was all about the Jackson 5.
How we feeling tonight? You ready to party with us? Here we go. Let me tell you now. Ooh, hey, when I had you to myself, I didn't want you around.
touch. One glance was all it took. Now it's much too late for me to take a second look. Oh, baby, give me one more chance. Won't you please let me back in your heart? Oh, darling, I was blind to let you go. But now since I see you in my arms, yes I do now. Ooh, baby, yeah, 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 yeah. No, 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 trying to live without your love is a long sleepless night. Let me show you, boy, that I know wrong from right. Every street you walk on, I leave tear stains on the ground. Follow with the boy, don't leave it all around. Let me tell you now, oh baby, all I need is one more chance. Won't you please let me back in your heart? Oh darling, I was blind to let you go. But now since I see you in your arms, oh yeah, yeah, you're all I want, you're all I need, you're all I want, you're all I need. ABC, easy as 1, 2, 3. I'm singing do re mi ABC. 1, 2, 3, baby, you ain't ABC, easy as 1, 2, 3. I'm singing do re mi ABC. 1, 2, 3, baby, you ain't there. Come on, Keith, come play a part.
Everybody in the house, y'all. Do you feel real good? Let me hear you say ho. Say ho.
You ready?
I like to stare so deep in your eyes. A touch on your mama every time. When you leave, I'm begging you not to go. Call your name 2, 3 times in a row. Such a funny thing for me to try to explain. How I'm feeling in my pride is the one I play. You know I don't understand just how you never could do it on else. Yeah. So crazy. Your love.
Everybody, let me hear you say, we want the funk. Gotta have that funk, sing it. We want the funk. Gotta have that funk. We want the funk. I gotta have it now. We want the funk. Gotta have that funk. We want the funk. I gotta have that funk now. We want the funk. Gotta have that funk. Yeah, girl. Jump around. Jump around. Jump up and get down. Jump, 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 jump. Lose control, the body and soul. Don't move too fast, take it slow. Don't get ahead, jump into it. You wanna hear about it? The P's will do it. Get started, get stupid. Somebody wanna dance a loop. Step by step in the new kid. Bit new to losing. Bit new to losing. Everybody, everybody, let's get into it. Get stupid, get it started, get it started. Get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started songs that remind me of the bad time. Danny boy, Danny boy, Danny boy. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. The Grand Poobah. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down. You know you made me go shot. Put your hands up, kick your feet up. Put your hands up, your feet up. Let me hear you say you real. Let me hear you say yeah, 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 yeah. Say you will. Come on, sing it. Everybody, let me hear you say. Come on, come on. I want you to know. I want you to know right now. You've been good to me, baby. Better than I had to myself. Hey, hey, you should have known. I don't want nobody else. Now, don't need a baby. I want you to know. You know you make me gonna shout. Put your hands up, kick your feet down, throw your hands up, your feet down. A little bit softer now, little bit softer now, little bit softer now, little bit softer now, little bit softer, little bit softer now, little bit softer. Get down, get down, get down, get down, get down, down, get down, get down, baby, up down, getting down, baby. A little bit louder now, 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 louder now, a little bit louder now. Hey, 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 you know you made me go shout. Now, wait a minute, babe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I wanna tell you how much I love you, baby. Need you, baby. Want you, baby. I need you, baby. If you had a good time tonight, somebody make some noise. I feel good to you, baby. Yeah, now. Oh, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. No, no. No, no. I'm going down, 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 down. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night.
might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space with the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Well, give me all you got and don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Hey, go! Bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too high. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too high. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Hey, go! Bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too high. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Hey, hey, hey. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want.
All right, all right, all right. YMCA family, let's keep the music going. Do not stop my music. We are here. Okay, maybe the music can be a little softer, but we're not going to stop dancing. All right, YMCA family. I am Jill Magnuson, and I am your out of breath chair of the YMCA of Metropolitan Dallas. So, can I have a little bit of happy still back? I'd really still like it, because we're going to still dance. This is still okay, give me the beat. Give me the beat. All right. So, you're wondering, what in the world are we doing here at the 135th annual celebration with this happy group? I am just here to tell you, we are so happy. We are happy to see you. We are happy to be here. We are happy that we have so many blessings in this world. But it meant the world to open this meeting with these particular people. This event is about you, our Y family, our Y volunteers, those who just don't ask for admiration, you don't ask for anything, you just keep giving. Oh, let's keep dancing. Let's not stop. I still need the music. We're still dancing. See, still dancing.
I should probably warn you.
But the reason why this is a really important opening is because when COVID called, these people stepped up. When COVID said, we are hurting, they turned around and said, you know what? I'm going to show up and I'm going to serve our community and I'm going to bridge the gap. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the unsung volunteers of Saturday morning Park South YMCA food distribution. These amazing people you see before you wake up every Saturday morning. They put on their tennis shoes, they put on their clothes, and they come down without anything but hope and admiration and support for our community that needs it so much. And I just want to be here tonight to honor them and for their selfless gifts that they have given for so many months and weeks during these very challenging times. And guess what? I have good news. Cynthia, our fearless leader. So I'm going to be shouting out there all names in just a moment, but I want to tell you, this is part of what we're calling the Catalyst Initiative for the YMCA. It was born out of need, and the great news, it's not going anywhere. We are here to stay. And we are here to stay because of these people right here and our invaluable partners that mean everything to us. Okay, we're not stopping the beat, right? We still got the beat. Okay, because now I'm going to give a little musical shout out. I want to tell you about our partners at the Miles and Miles and Miles of Freedom. Miles of Freedom. Miles of Freedom has been everything to us. They have been an incredible leader in this community. They do everything, including who just joined us, our amazing Cynthia, who keeps us going every day. And the great Richard with Miles of Freedom. Woo! Henry is the inspiration for this opening skit, if you will, because Henry's the one that will turn on the music and just let us dance. And I have been accused of not being a good dancer by somebody, but I'm just telling you, it's a morning full of joy. Oh, don't stop my tunes. Keep going. I need more tunes. So, okay, all right. So we have such a great time, and again, in such a time of need, to have so much joy in that morning. Brian, wait, hold on, Thomas, where are you, Thomas? Thomas is our heart and soul and our smile every Saturday morning. Roslyn, woo! And Miss Tony, whoa! You have no idea. Miss Tony is greeting all of our wonderful, needy people that are just with smiles and joys and making it all happen. So we couldn't do this without Miles of Freedom. Social Wise, another organization you might not have heard of, started by our amazing folks at Social Wise, Cody, woo, and Carrie. Social Wise is an innovative new project that basically matches wonderful volunteers in need with organizations like the YMCA, and these amazing folks have showed up and made all of this happen. So give it up for Social Wise again. We have another amazing partner called In the City for Good. Many of you may know Terry, and he's not here with us tonight, but I just wanted to give a shout out for In the City for Good because we couldn't have all the special things, and Terry's been a longtime supporter of Park South in particular, has made things happen for decades, and we are so grateful. So, not but least, right? Or something like that. We also have amazing volunteers that have come from our own board, Dave, who is your former YMCA Foundation leader, and Dave is showing up with us again with a smile. I want to point out that the dress code for today was Saturday morning Park South. Not all people followed that rules, and they're looking kind of nice, but I'm just saying that was the rule. And then Miss Autumn, who has joined us, who is a civic volunteer. And then Felix. Felix is, now come on, I gotta point this out a little bit. Where are your sticks? Autumn and Felix have spent every Saturday morning not only in food distribution, but cleaning our neighborhood around Park South. This is your clean dream team. And Felix as your next chair-elect, so I can't promise that this thing's not all gonna fall apart after this. I'm just saying. So I just wanna say, blessed are these people, blessed is the work that we're doing. We are so happy to start off with this celebration, being happy for you all and happy for these people. And please give them a round of applause right now. All right, y'all, I'm gonna bring this down. Oh, not down. Sorry, Brian. Where's Brian? I'm gonna bring this in a more distinguished moment. And thank you all for being here. And I'd like to introduce to you our MC and host for the evening, dear friend from years at the Simonis YMCA, longtime swimmer, grew up in the Y, amazing husband, father, devotee to the community. And we are so grateful for our own board chair or board member, Mr. Brian Jensen. Thank you.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
Thank you. I'm not quite sure how to follow that, and I'm not quite sure how to take what she just said. I guess I'm bringing the house down, is the case here. But welcome. Welcome to the 135th anniversary celebration here. And it is a celebration, and the song Happy is such a great start to what we're going to be doing here tonight. I do want to say a couple of things, though, about, what's been going on, what is going on. I couldn't decide whether or not I left my mask at the table. I wasn't sure. We got an online audience. Am I supposed to have my mask on for them? I mean, I do know that I can't ask you, have you been vaxxed? Have you been half vaxxed? Have you been fully? I mean, I'm not quite sure what to say up here because of all the things that we've been through, but do you realize we're probably going to have a new dictionary come out here in about 3 months or so? I mean, seriously, if you think about it, when all the social media stuff started and took off like it did and changed so many ways that we phrase things, there was additions to the dictionary. In fact, there was a brand new dictionary that came out, and I suspect we're going to have one now because of all of these new words and everything that's coming out. Do we fist pump? Do we handshake? Wait, let me get this one out. Do we hug? I mean, I'm not sure, but I can tell you this. We are all together in a room looking at each other, smiling. Okay? Now, unfortunately, there are only a couple hundred of us here in this room. There are a few other hundred. If you'll look back in the back of the room, there's a little red light on the top of that camera. Everybody now wave. Wave to the camera, okay? That is our streaming online audience. Thank you for joining us here tonight as well. Those of you that unfortunately couldn't be in the room, we did have to limit the number, as you know. They call this a hybrid event, okay? I've had a couple of these, I've done a couple of these. It is a little bit different. So those of you in the room, if all of a sudden I start looking at the dude back there in the back of the room and not you, don't take offense to it. It's because I'm talking to those streaming people, right? And streaming people, if I, for some reason, don't give you eye contact and I start looking at all these people down here, I apologize for that too. It's hybrid. That's just the way we work nowadays, right? But all of us are going to enjoy and take part in what's happening here today as we start to celebrate all of the great volunteer work that has gone on over the last year. And in fact, as you know, we were unable to have a 2019 celebration because of the pandemic and because of the fact that we were not able to do what we're doing here tonight. But we will be honoring those 2019 individuals, the award winners, the volunteers, the remarkable year that they had in 2019 as well here tonight. You know, it was a time during the pandemic, being a member of a Y, as you heard, being on the board of that Y, and then on the Metro board now, I've had the chance to live through every single step of what the Ys have had to deal with during the pandemic. But you know, the one thing that keeps coming out in everything that the Y did throughout the last year and continues to do is the consistency, the compassion, and the willingness to be there when others wouldn't. And I think that, to me, is what the year 2020 stood for when you talk about the YMCA for all. Okay, this is the 135th anniversary. So I want to show you something that we can do now, okay? We probably couldn't do this a few months ago, but we can now. We can actually do something called, ready for this? Applause. Okay, you can put your hands together. You'll have to wash them in a minute afterwards, but for right now, you can put your hands together. 135th anniversary. Okay, how incredible is that? How incredible. It's so incredible, you have a little gift at your table. Have you had a chance to open your box yet? You need to. I'm going to go back in time a little bit, and I'm certainly old enough to know this. This thing is called a viewfinder. How many of you know what a viewfinder is? I can't ask that question. How many of you didn't know what a viewfinder was? That's probably the better question. Well, take it out. Take a look. Oh, I like that picture. Mickey Mouse. Bugs Bunny. Wow, this is just like the way this guy's upside down. Okay, this is just like the viewfinder I had in the old day. Hey, there's George W. Bush. Wow, this is really cool. So, those of you that are streaming this, Kurt, can they expect one of these in the mail or something? I mean, how's that gonna? Oh, he just gave me the look like, maybe not. But let me tell you a little bit about the viewfinder history, because I think this is really cool. Okay, the viewfinder, or the viewmaster. Okay, somebody said that to me. I was calling it the wrong thing. I thought it was a viewfinder. Maybe because I could never find mine. Okay, so the Viewmaster was launched in 1939. Since then, the Y has served North Texas through 2 world wars, the Great Drought, the fight for civil rights, the space race, World Cups, economic downturns, and now a global pandemic. So just like this gift, the Viewmaster, the Y is resilient, timeless, and man, they usually produce some great pictures, great memories. They're all right here on your Viewmaster, 135 years of service. As we begin our celebration today, I want to call out a couple of individuals that are with us here. Our former CEO, Ben Casey, is here with us tonight. Now, usually at this event, we have elected officials here, but you know, we had to limit the number. Just kidding. They're streaming, they're watching. Hello, and thank you for being with us, elected officials, and thank you for all the support that you always provide the Y in our communities. Board of directors that are here and board of managers that are here, please raise your hands so we can acknowledge, and once again, put your hands together with applause for that. All right, it's time to get started with our program, and for that, I'm going to tell you what you already know. During all of the uncertainty that was going on, all of the stops and starts, when the pandemic began, there was so much confusion. The shutdown happened. The Ys had to be closed. The decisions had to be made. What do we do about all of our staff, our volunteers? What do we do to get people back once we do reopen? How are we going to be safe once the doors do open? And then they opened. Through all of that, there's no way the success could have been measured the way it has been measured had it not been for the great leadership of the man that I'll bring to the stage to start us out, the CEO and president of the YMCA of Metropolitan Dallas, Kurt Hazelbaker.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. It is so good to see people's faces not on a box. So I'm glad you're here tonight to help us celebrate. As Brian alluded to, March 16, 2020 was the start of the most difficult period of my career. Because of the pandemic, local authorities closed us down. We immediately closed 19 branches and had to make decisions that affected hundreds of staff. One of the most frustrating things for me last March was that the momentum we were on came to a screeching halt through no fault of our own. We had a new strategic plan in place. Revenue and the number of people we were serving was increasing every year, and we were about to launch a $120 million comprehensive campaign. Things were good at the Y. But with the closure, we had to quickly pivot to figure out how to serve the community while the buildings were closed, not knowing what tomorrow would bring. Thanks to our amazing staff, volunteers, donors, corporate philanthropy, churches, and community partners, we quickly launched the Catalyst Initiative, and you saw some of that tonight with the Park South volunteers. This was created only a few days after closing our doors. When I look back now on what we accomplished throughout the most difficult year in our 135-year history, I am just so proud of the Y and what we were able to do. As our staff and volunteers were personally being impacted by the effects of COVID, they stepped up more than ever before to ensure others were being taken care of through food distribution, child care, ensuring students had school supplies and computers, and delivering groceries and doing wellness checks with our seniors. When our Ys began reopening in June, we adapted by completely redesigning the facility layout and putting stringent cleaning and social distancing protocols in place to keep our members, program participants, and guests safe. As many of you know, in recognition of our work throughout the pandemic, the Dallas YMCA was honored to receive the largest gift in our YMCA history in December. Philanthropist and author Mackenzie Scott gave our Y $10 million to continue the work started in 2020 and will continue in 2022, 2021 and beyond. Her gift was affirmation from someone outside our Y that we were doing good work to the communities that needed us most. We've also been focusing on innovative ways to expand our reach in areas that we serve. While our Y has realized many advancements regarding diversity, like many other organizations, I thought we could do more. It's been a goal of mine for over 4 years to make the Dallas Y a leader in diversity and inclusion, and I'm excited by what is coming to fruition in our Y so that we remain a place for all. In 2021, with your help, the Y will continue to recover and grow post-COVID to meet the needs of our most vulnerable communities that in many cases have been magnified by the pandemic. Economic recovery, pandemic learning loss in students, and access to health care will continue to be glaring issues in North Texas. But the Y will continue to be there to help our communities heal and recover in the years ahead. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we could not have the impact we do in our community without the help of our amazing volunteers that serve on our board of directors. Like most of you, we've had to rely on Zoom to have important conversations. You know, we think we've got Zoom figured out, but I'm going to let you take a look and tell us whether we do or not.
Thank you for all getting together. The purpose of today is trying to talk about the annual celebration and the format we're going to follow. And it's going to be a little different this year. And I know, Jill, you had some ideas, so why don't we turn it over to you to get going on it? Hey, Jill, you're on mute. Jill, you're on mute.
Hello, Jill.
Brian, you're not up.
Sorry, y'all. So, did you hear what I was saying? I was talking about the opening skit. So, okay, yeah. So the thing is, hey, Creighton.
This is the right meeting?
Hey, Creighton. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really think so. See, we're kind
Who
of
is
working on
this?
the annual celebration. Yeah.
I don't think, sorry guys.
Yeah,
Sorry,
okay.
I'm on the wrong meeting.
All
Sorry.
right.
Thanks for
Bye.
talking. Okay, see you
Bye,
later.
guys.
Okay.
Yeah, well, so whatever we do, remember this is about the volunteers and we've got to make sure it's like, respectful and nothing stupid. Like it's got to be really, really profound, okay? So that's what I was going to say.
Okay, Brian, what do you think?
Times have we tried these Zoom calls? This is unbelievable. You guys just can't get it right.
Wait, what meeting is this again? What are we talking about?
Right, this is the annual celebration, the meeting on the 18th.
Yeah, so Brian, like you're running this show, like tell us what's going to happen.
Well, we're probably going to have some, I don't know, singing and dancing and maybe some animals and who knows what else is going to be up there, right?
I tell you, we're not making any headway. Why don't we take a pause? We'll come back together tomorrow and see if we can't make this thing work.
How many Y leaders does it take to figure out the Zoom recording?
So you can see we've had some technology challenges with Zoom, but that doesn't take away from all the great work we've done. I've been so encouraged to see our volunteers, staff, and members rally around the Y to support people in the community dealing with COVID. We've created a quick recap video to show the work, and we want to share it with you now.
It goes without saying, but 2020 was a year like no other.
Continuing our COVID-19 coverage now, we are getting a deeper look at just how stretched resources are in the state. When school starts next month for many districts, students will learn online.
As our world took a pause, the Y kept moving.
YMCA of Metropolitan Dallas has quickly stepped in to help.
Our staff and volunteers pivoted to support children, adults, and families that were adversely impacted by the pandemic through food distributions, emergency childcare, senior check-in, and blood drives. With all the struggles that surrounded us, we witnessed new waves of kindness, support, and generosity from our community. It is because individuals like you that the Dallas YMCA has been a reliable source of support and access. 2020 was a year that reminded us that empathy, compassion, and commitment gives us hope that we are stronger together. It gives us hope to dream bigger, progress farther, and love deeper. Because of you, the Y has served North Texas for 135 years. Thank you for staying with us and making it possible for the Y to support our community this year. The Y has been building stronger communities for over 135 years. The YMCA has been through 2 world wars, the Great Depression, economic downturns and upturns, and now through a global pandemic. But one thing remains the same: we continue to serve our communities. Thanks to our members, donors, board members, staff, and volunteers, the Dallas Y Association has been able to strengthen the foundation of our community through healthy living, youth development, and social responsibility. Over the years, the Y has grown, but our mission, values, and commitments have not. This year, we are taking the steps to cultivate our bold vision for a brighter future through programs and services that embody healthy spirit, mind, and body for all. The Y ensures all people have equitable access to the essentials needed to learn, grow, and thrive. Daily, the Y bridges and fills individual and community needs as a catalyst for impactful change.
You know, it's really easy when you see videos like that and you see the imagery like that. It's easy to understand why everyone is in this room tonight and why we are celebrating such great volunteers and the staff members at the Ys that work with those volunteers and, you know, make sure that everything that is being delivered to our communities is being delivered to our communities. So thank you for that. Not so much, Kurt, thank you for what was on the screen before that. It would have been nice if you'd have told me that my kid's filter was on when I was doing that. You know, I did get a text just a second ago while that was, right after that was finished, and apparently somebody's already put it on YouTube. It's already got like 1 million hits, and it's the next great viral video, so appreciate that. Oh, and by the way, streamers, you probably did this a minute ago, so I went ahead and Googled Viewfinder toy, and it does show the Viewmaster, so we were close on getting that right. Okay, I'd like to introduce a remarkable teen right now. You know, teens are such a big part of this organization. A lot of times, the teens that become the centerpieces of YMCAs around these communities were brought up through the Ys and then become leaders themselves. It's my honor to introduce Aiden Ross to give our invocation for the evening.
Good evening, everybody. Please join me in bowing your heads. Lord, thank you for allowing us to be all together tonight. Thank you for the volunteers, staff, board members, donors, and everyone who has helped serve so many in our community throughout this difficult year. Through my work with Model United Nations, I have seen how hard it is for my friends and peers to engage with one another through the pandemic. But with your help, we've been able to grow and connect with those who have had a hard time this year, so thank you. Please continue to be with those who are struggling. Give them strength and comfort. Please lift up the YMCA and let the people who work with the organization be able to continue to serve those who need it most. Let us provide hope, healing, and service to our neighbors. Let our time together be a joyous celebration and pleasing to you. Amen.
Thank you very much for that, Aiden. You know, along with Zoom, which, boy, we sure hope that goes away, along with Zoom, we've really become overly, I think, taxed by stats. Have any of you checked the global worldometer lately? That is now one of the top searched sites on the internet. Once upon a time, it wasn't even known what it was. Well, it literally is a global meter that runs and runs and runs every time just about anything in the world happens, and it's now one of the most checked sites on the internet, and it's because of all the stats that were necessary, obviously, during the pandemic, but all the other reasons that you want to know numbers. Well, the good news about being inundated by stats is that there are oftentimes some that really make a difference. And the numbers that you're seeing on the screen right now are numbers that made a difference. How about 92,000 meals and 179 tons of produce? Apparently they had just enough left for my salad, which was nice of them to leave a little behind. But no, it's, I mean, incredible the numbers that you're going to see on the screen throughout the evening tonight. You probably saw it on your scorecard. If you haven't taken a look yet, it's there as well on your table or in your chair. Some of these numbers are just staggering. But as you know, when you have an event like this, you look back at things that led up to the year. This year, we're looking back even 1 year further, because as we continue to enjoy our meal here tonight, we want to make sure that we give the honor to the 2019 volunteers as they deserve. So please be sure to keep one eye and one ear on the screens while you are continuing to enjoy your meals as we celebrate the 2019 honorees.
I really got started as a very small child because my family was involved at the Richardson Y. And I took swimming lessons and then I taught swimming lessons, and I, was in the girls club, and then I led girls club, and it was my place. It was a place where I felt like I could kind of belong. And then when I was about 11, I went to Grady Spruce and just found my spot, my people, my place of sanctuary and acceptance. And 11, 12, 13, and then 15 through 21 worked at camp all summer. I graduated from college in 1980 and started working on the campaign in 81. My hope is that more girls like me, more kids like me could find their spot and find out who they are, and Camp gave that to me, and I want to give it to others. My love is that the kids start discovering who they are through their experiences with the Y.
In my opinion, YMCA has been forefront in encouraging youth activities, whether it's sports, culture, or different activities. One of the things that YMCA did in India was it provided hostel services for the young boys visiting other cities, so that prompted me to become a member of Y. When I landed in Capel, I looked around, the closest thing around me, I found the Y. I felt comfortable, felt at home. I've been familiar with Y, said this is the place I need to get. I checked it out. There are so many activities. The pool was here. There's so much activities for the kids. And I have a passion for volleyball. And that's when I thought, okay, I can get my daughter started on volleyball, and also became a coach in here. Sometime back, Y has come up with the thought that they have to be very inclusive of the community, different sections and different society of people in the community, that they wanted to bring them together, and that really impressed me. Why it said we want to have inclusion, and that's one of the things that prompted me that I should continue to work here and contribute. Y is very forthcoming and very sensitive to the requirements of the community, and it's always willing to make changes to accommodate the requirements from the community, and that really is the great thing about YMCA.
I got started with the Y as a middle schooler, or I guess to date myself, in those days it was junior high. My sister was in the Y clubs in my hometown, and she got to go to a lot of cool conferences, and I just figured it's another way to get out of school at first. But she got involved in leadership, and so once I got to junior high or to high school, I got involved with the Y clubs, and ultimately with the youth and government, which was the thing I loved the most, and had an opportunity to have a lot of fun with that. Growing up in my hometown, we didn't have a physical Y facility, so the YMCA for us was all through the school system. But coming here and both seeing the activity at our Ys and then all of our after-school programs, and ultimately having my children participate in the Y camps have been all the reasons why I wanted to stay involved. The Y is one of the best and most efficiently organized institutions in how we deliver services. And I think the business community depends on us to do that. It's interesting, as soon as the pandemic started, one of the first questions that many of our leaders asked was, what could the YMCA be doing to help with places where the schools were closed, but our essential workers needed to be working. And of course, the Y stepped in. And so that intersection of where business also needs nonprofits shows how the Y can be helpful to our families and to the community.
Okay, I don't think the streamers heard you. Come on, let's have it a little bit stronger than that. Huh? Yeah. Because as you know, we've talked a little bit about the pandemic and everything that the Y had to go through in 2020 and how wonderful the services were, the support, the volunteers, and we're going to obviously award that activity and the efforts tonight, but you can't even start to get where they were able to get to without a foundation that is ready for what happened in the world like the Y was. That's what 2019's volunteers set up for 2020. So again, thank you, all of you that helped us get to where we needed to be to now get to 2020. I know it's 2021, but we're talking about, I'm not that slow. Okay, I know you probably thought to yourself, surely we're not going to put the microphone back in her hands? Yes, we are. In fact, not only are we going to put the microphone back into her hands, but because it's time to get the business of 2020 started, we're going to go ahead and bring the chairman of the board, the chairwoman of the board, how do you say it properly? Chair of the board, back to the stage, but she's going to enter the stage from the side over here because since she loves to dance and showed a little bit of it, we want to see the moonwalk, right? So let's see Jill Magnuson back to the stage. Moonwalk. No moonwalk? Okay. Let's see. What else maybe? Break dance. There's plenty of time, room right here in the middle of the stage. Yes? No. She says, cut this off. It's time for business. Here is Jill Magnuson.
I can't promise I'm not going to dance, but thank you, Brian. But I will like to officially open the 135th annual meeting to order as of May 18th, 2021. And I will say, this is our first in our history that is hybrid. Okay, we didn't even know that word 135 years ago. So, and just to speak to our audience and our Y family at home, I want to make sure that you know that we are there with you and we appreciate you being with us. And I want to make sure that you felt like, I feel you, I'm still, I got to be COVID comfort, right? That's still really a thing. And so I'm jealous of y'all at home being in your COVID comfort. But thank you for being with us. Well, you all know more than anybody else that volunteers are the heart of this organization, that we are able to accomplish so much of our mission with the help of such giving individuals. One of the most prestigious awards is the Sam Winstead Volunteer of the Year Award, given each year in honor of Sam G. Winstead, a longtime YMCA volunteer who was an example of outstanding leadership. You saw examples of the wonderful award winners from 2020, and again, I wanted just to congratulate each one of the 2020, and I feel bad we weren't all together with you, but we are so in awe of your work and accomplishments. This award is presented each year to a volunteer at each branch who has made a difference to the YMCA. And so I'd like to ask if Kurt Hazelbaker would, he's already here. Kurt, our president and CEO of the YMCA, is going to join us on stage. And I'm going to welcome back Brian Jensen. And we're now going to proceed with the first batch of these awards.
Lori Garner, Camp Grady Spruce. Lori began working at Camp Grady Spruce during college, and through the years, she has never lost her passion for camp. Having volunteered for a myriad of roles, as well as serving on the board, Lori has been a constant source of light for Camp Grady Spruce. Vicki Chiavetta, Capel Family YMCA. Vicki has been an active and engaged volunteer that has been successful in recruiting new members, advocating for the Y in the community, and raising funds for the Y. Her servant leadership within the community is well served as the 2021 incoming board chair for Capel. Michelle Diaz, Cross Timbers Family YMCA. Michelle has been a part of the Cross Timbers Y board for over 4 years. She has a passion for the communities we serve, which can be seen through her dedication and commitment to making sure the Cross Timbers Y thrives even during a pandemic and her health battles in 2020. Psychalia Terry, Frisco Family YMCA. Aaliyah started with the Frisco Family Y as a volunteer soccer coach and had no prior coaching experience, but was willing to volunteer and learn for the kids to have a great experience. There is no way to measure the positive impact on the kids' lives that she has touched, but we know those participants will always be able to look back and remember the fun and support they felt with Aaliyah as their coach. Gloria Carrillo, Grand Prairie Family YMCA. Gloria has a passion for making sure all children have the ability to learn how to swim, which began her journey with the Y. She has been an active board member, campaign chair, and to this day continues to serve as an advisor to the Y and continues to raise money for the Grand Prairie Y. Bradley Taylor, JER Chilton YMCA at Rockwall. Brad's passion for the Y is apparent through his thoughtful preparation and hands-on leadership approach. Brad has been an outstanding leader for the board throughout this pandemic year and has contributed countless hours to assure the continued success of the JER Chilton YMCA. Please join us in congratulating our first group of extraordinary volunteers. Okay, I told you we were going to have stats, more stats to share with you, and these are impressive as well. Throughout the pandemic, as you know, the YMCA supported numerous families with school supplies and emergency child care. Take a look at some of these numbers. How about 7,230 emergency child care and Y Learning Academy visits? That is incredible, the numbers that continue to flash up onto the screen. And again, as we know, behind those numbers are people, are kids and families. And that is what makes those numbers so important to us tonight. Well, now I'd like to bring to the stage Felix Lozano. Felix is a partner with the Dallas office of Whitley Penn and vice chair of the YMCA of Metropolitan Dallas Board. He was involved in the dance a little bit earlier, and I'm not quite sure what step he's going to show as he steps up to the stage, but he will introduce the Youth Character Award recipients.
Thank you, Brian. At the YMCA, we work hard to build character by teaching and demonstrating values. I'm honored this evening to help recognize some of these exceptional teens. The YMCA stands for so many good things, but our commitment to building character and values in children is at the very core of our existence. Each year, the YMCA receives nominations from area youth who exemplify the Y's 4 core values of caring, honesty, respect, and responsibility in their everyday lives. 4 will be honored this evening. I would like to ask the youth for the YMCA Character Awards to make their way to the front of the room. Thank you. Each of these outstanding youth has so many positive things happening in their lives. I would encourage you to read more about each of them in the program. Jalika Salazar, Grand Prairie Family YMCA. When the Y shut down in March, we quickly moved into offering grab-and-go meals to the youth for the community. Jalika and her mom would drive through to receive meals, and one of our volunteers suggested that she come and volunteer to help pass out food. Jalika said yes, and that yes was the start of a beautiful relationship and friendship between Jalika and the YMCA. Jalika came faithfully twice a week for over 12 weeks to help prepare and pass out meals. She also came every three days a week to help clean and prep food. And over 3 months, we were shut down. She wiped down machines, mopped, hauled trash to the dumpster, and helped clean out 2 of the storage rooms. Having Jalika as a consistent volunteer day after day was a godsend. We estimate Jalika has volunteered over 300 hours at the Grand Prairie YMCA. Her service to the community is priceless, and Jalika gives joyfully and makes friends everywhere she goes. She's a living example of our core values of caring, respect, responsibility, and honesty. Next, Aiden Ross, Moreland Family YMCA at Oak Cliff. Aiden Ross is the Model United Nations Secretary General and currently manages and coordinates the high school and middle school MUN program for Dallas Association. Under his leadership, the program middle school grew by 73%. pushing him and his team to create a separate conference for middle school participants. To support the growth of the middle school students, Aiden led his team to create weekly virtual practice meetings for the middle school students to learn the delivery schools for implementing the MUN program. Aiden never misses a meeting or communication surrounding the MUN program. His attention to detail makes the program a success. His team has developed new technology skills as a result of his drive and push to provide a quality program. Aiden's passion for the model UN program has been best demonstrated by his leadership to maintain program quality despite COVID restrictions. Under his leadership, the MUN program has grown and established a new partner and collaborations for the future. Trisha Dasgupta, Plano Family YMCA. Trisha started off as a quiet participant at both the Young Youth in Government and MUN program at the Plano YMCA. Her passion for MUN quickly developed as she became a leader within the delegation. She shadowed officers before becoming one herself, as well as landing herself as the secretariat. She not only helps lead the entire Plano delegation, but also helps to make decisions on the state level. After accepting her position at the middle school MUN program, it grew and needed to branch off from the high school program. Tricia was quick to volunteer to take ownership of the middle schoolers and advisors, leading them with compassion and grace. In addition to her responsibilities, she was tasked with finding an appropriate and effective way to transition the delegation meeting to a virtual setting. Her leadership has made middle school MUN a reality, a huge positive difference of the MUN program in general and a lasting impact for the Plano YMCA. Tricia's leadership creates a lasting legacy for the youth in our state. Lastly, Shavana Kasuri, Plano Family YMCA. Shavani's passion for youth and government propelled her to apply for an officer position, not only leading her to school club, but also for the Plano Y branch, which served the Plano, Allen, and Frisco students. Shavani spent a year as a supporting officer helping the current president gain control of the delegation. She later became a president herself during the pandemic. She was challenged not only with gaining respect, command of the delegation, but also for transforming the meetings to a virtual platform. She continued to lead her school club as well as her students who participated at the Family YMCA, the Plano YMCA. After successfully leading meetings, she decided to run for an officer position at districts. She campaigned with honesty, responsibility, care, and respect. She won districts, but had to make a difficult decision to drop out when her family was affected by COVID. It was truly amazing to watch her make an impact on our community, to prioritize her family in a difficult decision, and to continue to lead by example. Shivani leads by example, always in with grace and with compassion. Thank you, Shivani. No one achieves success alone. Many of our award winners have been accompanied here tonight by the adults in their lives who have served a great role as great role models and mentors. I would like to give a round of applause to the parents, relatives, and friends. With these four individuals with a tender passion and a giving heart, I know our communities are in good hands. Brian?
And thank you to those wonderful teens. You know, all of us have some kind of an experience with the YMCA or we wouldn't be here tonight, right? And I can recall growing up with the Y, many times I had the opportunity to go to Camp Grady Spruce, loved it. The time that I spent in, well, it wasn't called Adventure Guides then, but something else. When I was in that other thing, I would hang out with my dad, and it was some of the greatest memories that I've ever had. Those times at Camp Grady Spruce, and then times at swim meets at the then Town North YMCA, maybe I didn't know it then, but I certainly know now how important the volunteers at all of those events were and are today at our YMCAs and at all of our facilities. So thank you so much for that. And now I would like to welcome Beth Taylor to the stage to present a special award. Beth is a Camp Grady Spruce volunteer and the 2019 recipient of the Charles P. Story Strong Communities Award. Beth?
Somebody told me there was going to be a script up here, but I don't see it. Is it coming? Ah, there it is. Each community YMCA has a unique history that includes names and faces of volunteers who provide a lifetime of leadership that paved the way to today's successes. Charles P. Story is a stellar example of a lifetime of commitment. Criteria for this award is a demonstrated commitment by a YMCA volunteer who has demonstrated an instrumental in the creation and perpetuation of a local YMCA. Few volunteers in our history demonstrate that commitment in as many ways as Chuck Story. This award will acknowledge far into the future his outstanding contribution to the life of this organization. I'm very proud to present the Charles P. Story Strong Communities Award to Maurice West from Park South YMCA.
My name is Maurice West. I am a longtime YMCA member, and I'm the proud board chairman of the Park South YMCA. But my why story is a lot broader and a lot deeper. Well, my first exposure to the Y was in Waco when I went to undergraduate at Paul Quinn College because the YMCA was right behind the campus. So we would jump the fence or run around the corner, and that was another place to go play ball, work out, or just get off campus. I ended up applying for a job in Montgomery, Alabama. And I would dare say that job and those young people changed my life. I realized the bigger picture isn't always about a young person being good in athletics. It's growing them as a person, making sure they're solid citizens, academically sound, looking at their careers and giving them a platform for them to transform their lives. When I first got introduced to Park South Y, it was playing basketball. But knowing the other programs that the YMCA sponsors, Youth in Government, Youth Conference on National Affairs, which I was a part of and still treasure those experiences, they were profoundly unique to me because we never got a chance to see that. We never got exposed to that. Those are the things I really treasure and appreciate about the Y. The only reason you can feel that you are out of place at the YMCA is because you do not engage. If you want a place that you know you want to belong, come through these doors. And that's one of the reasons I continue to come through these doors. I never walk in and feel like a stranger. When we entered this current crisis in the pandemic, there were a lot of talks about what to do next and how to respond and how to keep people safe. And I can recall the YMCA being one of the leaders in action to support the community, to support our children, to stand up, being available where needed, to provide food, provide diapers, provide clothing. The children were enabled with computers to go home and learn. Those things are of value to me, and that's why we are here tonight to celebrate the YMCA. We are a YMCA supported family, and we thank them for selecting me, but really you selected all of us. You selected the board, you selected the community, you selected our staff. We are all in this together. Thank you very much.
In 1993, I had the honor of working with Maurice at the Britton YMCA in Montgomery, Alabama. We worked together to serve first-time juvenile court offenders who had community service hours. Maurice was my first supervisor as I had just graduated college, and this was my first job. He taught me how to be a leader, how to always be a willing educator with compassion and respect, and the intent to always uplift and motivate others. To this day, he continues to be a fabulous role model and is the reason why I am a mental health therapist and I continue to serve my community.
Your 2020 Charles P. Story Strong Communities awardee, Maurice West.
Now, as you know, the Y was closed March through June of last year. Instead of showing stats at this moment, we're going to show you some images, some pictures instead of what it took to reopen the Ys. And I remember as we were talking through as a board how this process was going to happen, we had the opportunity with the great leadership of Rebecca Lee to be taken through the Lake Highlands YMCA to show us all the particular elements that were being attended to. It was unbelievable how much detail Rebecca and her staff and everyone on staff at the Y, how much effort and attention they took to everything. In fact, walked out of there just going, okay, somehow this has to get out as the absolute way to do this for every other organization. And of course, I was about, 2, 3, 4 steps behind because David Frederick and his great staff, Allen Media and their great staff had already taken care of all of that. And you probably saw some of the news items that came out about how great the Y had prepared for the return and the reopening. It was incredible. And still to this day, I meet some of the members of the Simonis Y when I'm there to swim or to hang out or talk to Diddy or do whatever I do there. And almost to the T, every day somebody comes up and says, man, this has really turned out to be great, meaning the reemergence, the reopening, the way everything was done at the Y. So congratulations to the staff as well as the volunteers to be able to get these Ys reopened the way they did. And now if we could have Jill come back up to the stage, and it is time for our second group of YMCA Sam Winstead Volunteers of the Year. Please hold your applause until the last name. Never works, but they wrote it down, and so I'm supposed to say it. Sharon Kirkpatrick, Lake Highlands Family YMCA. Sharon has been instrumental during the pandemic in recruiting teen volunteers for our food distribution program and do various cleaning at the Y. When the Y opened as a warming center in February, and Sharon donated food and treats. Although Sharon could not be with us tonight, we do want to thank her for serving our Lake Highlands community. Tammy Tobar, McKinney Family YMCA. Tammy started with the McKinney Y board just over a year ago and has hit the ground establishing stronger connections in the community immediately. Tammy's passion for volunteering and helping those in the community are a powerful combination, making her an excellent choice for the McKinney YMCA Volunteer of the Year. Catherine Weekly, Moody Family YMCA. Catherine became our #1 advocate as she invited people back to the Y and helped ensure them it was safe and comfortable to return. She was present the first day we reopened, smiling and welcoming people back, and has stepped up to serve at every member appreciation event, every day of Member Giving Week as part of the annual campaign, and she was there every day our doors were open as a warming center in February of 2021. Zelda Blossom Brewster, Moreland Family YMCA at Oak Cliff. Zelda played a critical role at the Y by bagging food for young people and families, coordinating programs for active older adults, and making sure the Y had additional volunteers for the food distribution. She never missed an opportunity to serve the community and has worked tirelessly, but still always asked, what else do we need? Tamikia Duro, Park South Family YMCA. Tamika, also known as Mrs. Red, is South Dallas. On any given day, you can find Ms. Red volunteering in member services, preschool, sports, and at our community events. She is a community advocate that stands up for the environmental well-being of our South Dallas and Joppa family. Steve Orsak, Plano Family YMCA. Steve Orsak has been a faithful member of the Plano Family Y for the last 3 years and has consistently shown his commitment and dedication to our Y, our members, and our community. He was the first member to walk through our doors when we reopened on June 1st, and when the Y suffered damage due to the winter storm, Steve was one of the first volunteers to help. Please join us in congratulating our second group of extraordinary volunteers. And now, please welcome to the stage our 2019 Theodore P. Beasley Distinguished Award winner, Kelvin Walker. Kelvin is a past board chair and is the CEO of Dallas Citizens Council. Kelvin? Sure.
Find my script. I hope it's in a 16 font so I can see it. Good evening. The Theodore P. Beasley Distinguished YMCA Leadership Award was established to honor people who have given a lifetime of exceptional leadership to the Dallas YMCA. It was named for its first recipient, Theodore Beasley. The understanding and passion he had for the impact of the YMCA on our communities epitomizes what volunteer leadership can be. Tonight, I have the privilege of presenting the Theodore P. Beasley Distinguished YMCA Leadership Award to a good friend, Eddie Marshall. And before we look at the video, I'm gonna go off script for a second, Kurt, just for a second. Eddie has been a wonderful leader for the association. His wisdom and counsel has been much appreciated since 2005 when he joined the board. The thing that always made all the board members a little upset about Eddie is that no matter how many gifts that we raised, Eddie always had one more. If you had 10, he had 12. If you had 30, he had 80. But we like you, Eddie. But seriously, our growth trajectory with the YMCA, because of his work as our leader with the Strategic Planning Committee and his work to keep our insurance premiums down through healthcare when he was a risk management chairman, have been very impactful and have been beneficial to both our staff and all of our volunteers. So let's hear about Eddie and his story.
My name is Eddie Marshall. I am an alumnus of the YMCA Board of Directors, but my Y story is a story of many names. I was a junior lifeguard at the Greenville Natatorium where I learned to swim. I later became Little Running Deer in my Indian Guides tribe. I was a baseball player on my Bluebird team at the Town North Y. As I started having kids, I was coach of multiple different teams. I was chief of Indian Guide and Indian Princess tribes. I was blessed to join the board of directors and fulfill many different roles. And probably my favorite was fundraiser, because I love telling the stories of the Y. Everybody has got a Y story. Who is not impacted by the Y? Unfortunately, I came from a broken family. My family was divorced early on, but the Y was the place of connection. My father stayed very engaged with me. Our trips out to Camp Grady Spruce are still some of my fondest memories. And then that allowed me to do the same thing with my kids. The Y has brought my family together in so many different ways. One of my favorite quotes is, "To whom much has been given, much is expected." And I was so blessed about 15 years ago to be invited by Gordon Echtenkamp to join the board of directors of the Dallas YMCA. We are so lucky to have the Y in the Dallas and North Texas community. I know it's changed my life and my family's lives, and I know it's changing many people's lives around this city. Through our Y experience at the YMCA of the Rockies, my son, when Boy Scouts became an option, he leaped at that. As his Eagle Scout project, he was downtown at the Park South Y working with Rodrigo Ross to build the chapel, complete with a paved stone stage and an amphitheater seating for 75 or so kids. So back to the connection with family. I can still remember when Kurt called me to tell me that I had won the Theodore Beasley Award. I was so emotional. And I was emotional because I thought back about what this meant, who Mr. Beasley was, and the many, many YMCA colleagues that I've served with for the years who have gone before me and won this. Is such an honor. And I can tell you the Theodore Beasley Award is the honor of my life. Thank you, YMCA.
Please help me welcome our 2020 Theodore P. Beasley Leadership Award winner, Eddie Marshall.
Okay, so apparently I can say it. I absolutely love when people give their why story, and part of that is Indian Guides, because as you heard when he mentioned his name, the name that you are given, or the name that you come up with, or whatever the case might be. Now, before I tell you what I'm about to tell you, raise your hand if you have one. If you have, okay, see, come on, put them up high. Okay, how many of you, if I asked you right now to tell us what that name is, would tell? Okay, I think I can one-up you. My dad was Big Wind and I was Little Puff. I swear, true story. I'm not going to tell you why we were named that. I'm just going to tell you that's what we were named. Okay, back to the stats. I better get there quickly. As if the pandemic wasn't enough, we had the deep freeze of February 2021. During the deep freeze, as you know, our community was really suffering and trying to find places of warmth for people. One of the most incredible things that you could ever imagine. How could that happen in Dallas, Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth? But it did. The Y stepped up, of course, and as you can see, look at the numbers that were served just to come get warmth, maybe get a shower, step into a building that had heat, and again, just stepping up for our community. What a wonderful moment that turned out to be for service from the Y. And you know what? That warms the heart. I'm wondering if we'll think that when it's 110 degrees outside, but it warms the heart right now, which is what is important, right? All right, let's go ahead and welcome now our third group, final group to the stage of the YMCA Sam Winstead Volunteers of the Year. Jeremy Thomason, Richardson Family YMCA. Jeremy has been invaluable in serving on our Richardson Family Y board and connecting the Y over this past year. We can always count Jeremy to be present, as shown through his support of the Warming Center in February, his efforts at the Trunk or Treat event, and his integral role in fostering the relationship with Chase Oaks Church, resulting in a six-figure donation for our work during the pandemic. Matt Miller, Simonis Family YMCA. In a year filled with anxiety and uncertainty, Matt Miller showed his Simonis Family YMCA friends and neighbors how to find peace through service. In Matt's world, the cup is always half full, so he never doubted for a minute that the Simonis Family YMCA would reach his goal. Every chance Matt gets, he reminded campaigners how important it is to love and serve our fellow humans. Autumn Kraus, T. Boone Pickens YMCA. Autumn brings the utmost enthusiasm, energy, and dedication to every hour of volunteerism she gives to our YMCA. Under Autumn's leadership as annual campaign chair, the T. Boone Pickens Y exceed their goal to get to 111%. In addition, Autumn has volunteered at the Park South YMCA food distribution every Saturday since the pandemic started. Marcy Mayer, Waxahachie Family YMCA. Marcy's passion to serve others above herself is evident in all that she does. Marcy blesses our Y staff with weekly gifts and acts of service, and during the dark days of the COVID shutdown, Marcy could be found in costume at multiple families' houses, performing a song and dance for the delight of the children unable to attend YMCA activities. Yeah. Virginia Ginger Hoolan, White Rock YMCA. Ginger has served on the White Rock YMCA board for 6 years, has chaired the annual campaign twice, and served as our board chair for the last 3 years. Ginger is the ultimate volunteer and representative of all the great work the Y does in the community. We could never be as successful without her consistent leadership, dedication, and endless hours of work. Susan Owen, YMCA serving the Irving community. Susan's dedication and commitment to making sure that the Y raises the funds needed to serve our Irving community is superior. Susan has connected so many people to our Y and has given them the opportunity to connect in and create their own Y story. And Tim McDaniel, YMCA serving the West Dallas community. Tim was quick to start partnerships with youth programs that supported our cause and our ability to serve more youth in the community. Tim jumped right into the annual campaign with no hesitation, telling the Y story and serving wherever needed. We are lucky to have him on the Y Serving West Dallas board and a forever supporter of the Y. Please join us in congratulating our final group of extraordinary volunteers. Hey, streamers, one more chance. Put those hands together. Let's give it some more applause to our awardees tonight, yeah? All right. I told you I wouldn't forget about you. All right. Now, it's my honor, and this truly is an honor, because the gentleman I'm about to bring to the stage is also my mentor on the board. So, where'd he go? Oh, look, he moved chairs on me. And no, I didn't hide your speech. Oh, you've got it right there. Great. Good thing. This is my mentor right here on the board. You can kind of come up here with me. Yeah, we can share. Yeah, there you go. We can share it here. This is the CEO. Yeah. What? Am I bald? Man. I just want to see what it feels like. I used to know. CEO of the North Dallas Regional Chamber, and he's going to recognize our outgoing and incoming board leadership.
Well, thank you, Brian, and congratulations to all of our great award winners tonight. What an incredible evening. So as chair of the Board Governance Committee of the Y, I have the privilege of recognizing our outgoing and incoming board members. First, a little bit of background. About 2 years ago, our Board Governance Committee reviewed nonprofit best practices from around the country and came to the conclusion that we needed to become more nimble and ultimately promote an even more diversity of perspectives. As a result, it was recommended that we, over time, reduce the size of our board and implement a policy of limiting board service to a maximum of 3 3-year terms. So this year, the impact of that new policy is quite profound. This evening is truly a bittersweet time in the history of our Y, in the 135-year history of our Y, because tonight we're celebrating 9 board members who have completed their terms. What's amazing about this is that in aggregate, these 9 represent 183 years of service to the Y and include 5 past board chairs and 4 others who are legendary in their service to the Y. Let me repeat that. 183 years of service by these 9 board members. So we're just going to take a minute we have recognized these board members in our most recent board meeting, but we also wanted to recognize them tonight at our annual celebration. So first, let me recognize Don Bowles. Don is not only a past board chair, but the Bowles family is now nearing 100 years of involvement with this YMCA. So Don, congratulations. Thank you. Secondly, Ruben Esquivel. Ruben is past board chair, and he also chaired the search committee that brought in Gordy Echtenkamp. Congratulations, Ruben. Thank you. Third, we'd like to recognize my seatmate tonight, Howard Etheridge. Howard has been a prolific fundraiser for this organization over the years. We can't thank him enough for his service. Maybe not in the same category as Eddie Marshall, but pretty close. So, but thank you. Thank you very much, Howard. We appreciate it. Next, we'd like to recognize the iconic Mike Haggerty. Mike is not only a past board chair, but he also chaired the search committee that found Kurt Hazelbaker and brought him into this, the fold. So, Mike, we can't thank you enough for all your many contributions to this Y. Thank you, Mike. Paul Higgins. Paul Higgins is also a past board chair and an epic annual campaigner, much like Eddie Marshall and Howard Etheridge. But Paul was out there getting the $10 contributions, the $100 contributions. The guy was amazing in terms of the sheer numbers of people he got engaged at the YMCA. I didn't see Paul tonight. Is Paul here tonight? All right, well, let's thank him anyway. So thank you, Paul. We'd also like to recognize Paul Hoffman. And I didn't see Paul tonight either. But Paul is probably, I'm sure he is online right now, but Paul has served as the chair of our HR committee for the past 7 years, which is quite a contribution. And Suzanne Goswick is, I'm sure, very proud of what's happened with our HR group and how it's been kept together thanks to his consistent and great balanced leadership. So Paul, thank you very much for your service. And next, we'd like to recognize Gail Madden. I have to pause here for a second. I get a little emotional when I talk about Gail. So Gail, she not only co-chaired our 2006 capital campaign that raised over $21 million, but she also has just most recently been recognized by the Association of Fundraising Professionals with their Outstanding Volunteer Fundraiser Award by virtue of the fact of all the work that she's done for the YMCA over the many, many years. She's truly a treasure to the Y and to the community that she serves. Gail Madden, thank you so much. Also like to recognize someone who I didn't get to say hi to tonight, but hello, Tim. Tim is the former board chair at Simonis YMCA, and Tim was instrumental in helping Gordy through multiple challenging issues, may I say. And so Tim has just done a magnificent job, and we can't thank him enough for his service to the Y as well. So Tim, thank you. And then last but not least, the man who was just up here on the stage as last year's Theodore Beasley Award winner, and someone who has just contributed mightily to this YMCA. He's a past board chair, of course, and his name is Calvin Walker. Calvin, congratulations. Thank you very much for all of your many years of service. I would like to say that if you look at the historical reference to the Beasley Award winners, what's interesting is that 5 of them are in this group of 9. And it's just amazing. And all 5 of them are here tonight and have been recognized. But Ruben, Don, Mike, Kelvin, and Gail, thank you so much. And we need to recognize you even more than you've been recognized in the past. So thank you very much. So, well, and let me just finish by saying to the lady and the gentleman, you know, we look forward to your continuing engagement at the Y and your ongoing support of the mission. We know you will be there with us on a go-forward basis. So thank you for everything. So that's the bittersweet news. Now let's look ahead to the future. Our board governance committee couldn't be more pleased with the class of 8 new board members beginning their terms tonight. They were voted in at our last board meeting, and tonight is in effect the official first day of their tenures as board members of this YMCA. They are, well, lest we not have a Bowles on our board, our first new board member is Ryan Bowles. Ryan is a strategic advisor with Marsh & McLennan here in Dallas. Ryan, thank you very much for joining our board. We appreciate you being here. Our second new board member is Jorge Calderon. Jorge is the Dallas Market President for Capital One. Is Jorge here tonight? Oh, there he is. I didn't even see you. Thank you. Well, welcome, Jorge. We're glad you're here. Thanks a lot. Our third new board member is Adrienne Cortez. Adrienne, are you here tonight? There she is, of course, sitting right next to Tim Powers. Thank you, Adrienne. Welcome. Adrienne is the landscape architect at RD Land, and she's the former branch board chair at the T-Boone Pickens YMCA. So, Adrienne, welcome. Next, we'd like to recognize Dee Ellington. She is the chair of the Branch Leadership Council, and she's the branch board chair at the Moreland and Oak Cliff YMCA. Next, Rebecca Hamilton Kay. Rebecca, are you here tonight? Oh, I was looking right at you just a second ago. Sorry I missed you, but Rebecca, welcome. We're glad you're here. Rebecca is the Director of Federal and Political Affairs at Vistra Corporation, and we really look forward to having you serve in this role. You're going to be a great addition to this Y. We really appreciate it. Next, we'd like to recognize Michael Horn. Michael is the president and CEO of the Parkland Foundation and someone who's had a significant presence in this community over many years in the educational space and now at Parkland. And we can't thank him enough for his willingness to step up and serve on the YMCA board with us. Michael, welcome. We appreciate it. And of course, we have to have a Haynes and Boone presence on our board. And so with Tim stepping down, he was nice enough to say we need to make sure that we got Bruce Newsom to join us on our board. So Bruce, he's a partner at Haynes and Boone. Thank you so much for joining us, Bruce. He's been very involved with the Y for many years, and we really appreciate your engagement. Thank you, Bruce. And last but certainly not least is someone that's no stranger to this group. He's the current chair of the Dallas YMCA Foundation, and he's with a senior vice president at Wells Fargo, the private bank, and that's Jody Zorn. Jody, I've seen you here tonight. Where are you? There you are. Jody, welcome. Thank you. So we so look forward to working with these 8 new board members, along with our 32 other board members, and our phenomenal staff as we advance the mission of the Y in Metro Dallas. Thanks to all of you for stepping up to serve in our community in such a special way. Welcome, new board members. Thank you.
All right. Welcome to the new board members, and Jorge, I've always wanted to say this, what's in your wallet? You know, everybody has a little bit of side story with the board members that are on the screen just a moment ago, and I've got to share just a real quick one. First of all those years of service that you were hearing, they don't necessarily stop just because they don't necessarily have the word board member next to them. Howard, for example, and Ruben, where's Ruben? There you are. Howard and Ruben were on my brand advancement, not my, the WISE brand advancement committee that I have the opportunity to chair right now. Thank you, Jill. And when I heard in our board meeting that they were, their terms were ending, I was like, oh no. So I immediately reached out to each one of them and I said, hey, you know, that doesn't mean you have to leave the brand advancement committee. We have volunteers on the committee too. And they each said, absolutely, I want to hang in there and keep working with you. So thank you both for that. Really appreciate that. It's just awesome is what it is. Well, as you may or may not know, our Dallas YMCA Foundation raises funds to support the mission of the Y, and that includes over $1 million annually to the operation of our Ys. You met just a moment ago, if you didn't know already, the chair of the Dallas YMCA Foundation, Jody Zorn, a longtime volunteer from the Lake Highlands YMCA, and as you heard, the senior vice president, wealth advisor at Wells Fargo. Now, please welcome, not to the stage, to the screen, to share a little bit more about the foundation.
On behalf of the YMCA of Metropolitan Dallas Foundation, I'd like to welcome you all this evening. My name is Jody Zorn, and I serve as the chair of the Dallas Y Foundation Board of Trustees. I'd also like to give you an update on your foundation, a separate 501c3 corporation, set up solely to organize and support the Dallas Y and its mission. Launched in 1995, the Dallas Y Foundation is led by a diverse and dynamic group of 21 leaders from the YMCA and the community. We're very blessed to have many outstanding volunteers that serve on our committees and on our council. Thanks to their management and the kindness of hundreds of Y supporters, the corpus of the YMCA fund today is in excess of $31 million. Annually, the foundation distributes back to Y causes. Thanks to past donations and planned gifts and strong growth fueled by our investment team, the foundation will distribute over $1.2 million this year. About 2/3 of the foundation funds are donor designated, benefiting branches, camping, and programs like college scholarships. This year, we are on track to continue support of 20 new 4-year college scholarships to graduating seniors that have a Y connection. The other third of the annual distributions by the foundation go to help branches support their community needs and provide resources to key programs such as community health, water safety, and team programming. Collectively, the distributions help thousands of youth and families across the metropolitan area. I'd also like to thank the many current and past supporters that are part of the Heritage Club for their direct or planned gifts. Our current Heritage Club members are listed in the 2020 annual report. If you'd like to know more about the foundation or about joining the Heritage Club, contact our foundation president, Charlie Meyer, or visit us online at www.dallasylegacy.org. Thank all of you for your time and support of the Y.
Hey, Ruben, Howard, I think we're in pretty good hands. That's also a new member of the Brand Advancement Committee. Do we recruit well or what? Well, you know, we've heard an awful lot about the volunteers and the efforts, the staff and the efforts through the pandemic, and all the things that needed to be done, or even those that we didn't even know needed to be done, but because of the great efforts of those volunteers and those staff members, they got done. But wouldn't it be nice to hear the other side of the story? The impact that all of that work had? Don't know how we could leave tonight without hearing some of those stories. The mission moments from people that have been impacted by the work of the Y or partnered with us to serve North Texas throughout the challenges of the last year. Up first on the screen, Taylor from the American Red Cross.
My name is Taylor Kofel. I am the Development Communications Manager for the American Red Cross here in North Texas. The American Red Cross really focuses on helping those who need the help. When COVID-19 hit, the pandemic started, things really kind of took a turn. All of our blood drive partners were a little hesitant to host blood drives, especially on site. The Y really stepped up and allowed us to host these blood drives in the community. So we've really been able to collect and keep blood on the shelves, which is what we needed to do. So we cannot thank the Y enough for the relationship that they have created with us, not just from before, but during the pandemic. They were crucial to us being able to continue to collect the blood that we needed.
Second, we have a couple of parents from our emergency child care through Chase Oaks Church.
I wouldn't have been able to keep my job if I didn't have the YMCA this whole time. Just in the last 6 months, I feel safe with him being here, with these counselors that care.
It gives us that relief that we don't have to worry about what's happening outside of our home with, a little one. We know that they're safe, that they're taking precautions, that they're taking steps to minimize, any issues. So thank you to the YMCA and thank you to the church for the partnership. But, it helps parents like us. We're, full-time all the time. So it helps a lot. Thank you.
And finally, we have Richard from Miles of Freedom.
My name is Richard Miles, and I started Miles of Freedom in April of 2012 after my full exoneration from being wrongfully incarcerated for murder and attempted murder that I had no knowledge of. And the mission of Miles of Freedom is to provide holistic services for individuals, families, and communities impacted by incarceration. The beauty of the distribution and this partnership between Miles of Freedom and the Park South and the ability to maintain the distribution, it goes beyond the food, because Miles of Freedom works with individuals that have, for lack of better words, been devalued. And so when you can take individuals that have no value or can't see their value, and you put them in a space whereas they're providing a service and they're bringing resources to a community that they live in, it increases how they feel about themselves, and therefore they feel like that they are a contributing member to society. And so the groundwork of what we're doing might be the food, but it's really building people up from the inside to help us push the ship that the Y has given us to be a part of.
Yeah, just such great moments to hear about. And I got to tell you, when we were putting the program together tonight, we talked a lot about how we wanted to deliver the message from the mission moments, and we actually thought about Zoom. I know, wouldn't that have been so glad we didn't? And I hope we don't have to do Zoom anymore. In fact, thank you for being here tonight. face to face with your friends, your volunteers, your staff, everyone that has helped to deliver for the YMCA over the last year. Thank you to those of you that are in the streaming audience for joining us in that platform, and we hope that the next time around you're sitting right here with us and that these tables don't have 6 but have 10 or 12 and are jammed together like they have been in the past and they will be in the future. Thank you to the friends that I see out into the audience right now, the people that I've either run into at WISE or on the board or whatever the case may be. Thank you for being here, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to share this with you. It has been an awesome treat. Have a great night and a great tomorrow, and please make sure you're vaxxed, you have a mask, you hug, you fist pump, you hand, all that kind of stuff, whatever it might be. Thank you.
Well, family, our first ever hybrid 2021 annual meeting is in the books. Thank you so much for joining us this night. We hope that you were inspired and amazed by the work of our volunteers. If you parked here at the Below Mansion but have forgotten to get your parking ticket validated, please visit the check-in table and have that ticket stamped for complimentary parking. Branch execs, please take the banners of your wonderful Volunteer of the Year, take them back to your branches, and celebrate them for the remainder of the year. And lastly, if you are joining us live via the Remo platform, networking through our virtual tables will resume at the end of the event through 9 p.m. Be safe, be well, have a good evening.